The Apple Watch 4, or the Apple Watch Series 4, as Apple would be calling it, has been confirmed. And the reason why I'm really looking forward to this model is because Apple would be finally redesigning the Apple Watch for essentially the first time. So far Apple's been using the same design as the one they've released in 2014, because yes, the Apple Watch was actually announced in 2014 and only released in 2015. But we've had the exact same design for the past 4 years. So the Apple Watch 4 is finally going to come with a redesign, and just last week we got a ton of leaks, and this week as well, on this new Apple Watch. So here's everything new in terms of that. Also, fun fact, subscribe and notifications if you're new to the channel and you want to see more Apple Watch 4 coverage and iPhone 2018 and more LIVESTREAM episodes like this one. But yeah, for now, get those snacks ready, sit back, relax, and let's have a look. Okay, first off, I just want to thank you for the amazing feedback that I've received over my last video on the Apple Watch Series 4. Yeah, the one from last week, I literally have no idea how that thing got to 1 million views in like 5 days or so. That's just crazy. It got picked up by a few tech websites. But yeah, your comments and everything were really positive. You guys love the concept and everything that I've talked about in that video. So thank you. And in case you haven't seen that video, this is basically a continuation to that video covering every new leak in terms of the Apple Watch Series 4. But definitely watch the original one, the initial one, if you haven't seen that. Also, I'll be doing the first ZONEofTECH live stream next Friday, which is actually the last day of the month, so August the 31st. This would be a live Q&A, so do join the Zone. Become a member by clicking the join button or the link in the description, and you'll be supporting the channel, and you'll also get access to some pretty cool perks, such as the exclusive live stream every month, as well as some ZONEofTECH badges that you can use in the comments, in the live chat, and those actually evolve over time the longer you've been a member for. So yeah, first live stream next Friday. That's gonna be pretty cool. Right, so just this week, French website Consommach, which has actually posted quite a few genuine leaks before, they got their hands on a document from the Eurasian Economic Commission, or EEC, that seems to showcase a number of unreleased Apple devices. Now, those devices seem to be running on watchOS 5, so that's how we know that they're actually Apple Watches. And interesting enough, these were not 1, not 2, not 3, but actually 6 new Apple Watch Series 4 models that got leaked, at least judging by the model number. So yeah, 6 Apple Watch Series 4 models, which might seem like a lot, but actually it's not, because last year Apple has released not 6, but actually 8 different models of the Apple Watch Series 3. So aluminum 38 and 42 millimeters GPS only, then aluminum 38 and 42 GPS plus cellular, the ones with the red crown, then stainless steel 38 and 42 GPS plus cellular, and finally ceramic, which was the really expensive one, 38 and 42 millimeters GPS and cellular as well. And yeah, I know, the lineup was really confusing, at least judging by the fact that Apple was literally selling 4 models of the aluminum Apple Watch. And this is without even me mentioning the multiple color options or band combinations that these came in. So, there were way more than just 8 models. I mean, if you take a look at how the Apple Watch page is at the moment on apple.com, it's a mess. Tons of models with different features, different materials, and it's very, very confusing for new consumers. Now, since the Series 4 would come in 6 models instead of 8, this means that 2 of them would be removed. And if you take a look at this list that I showed you before, you might notice that there are 2 obvious candidates for removal. So Apple's going to remove either the GPS-only models, and in that case, every single Series 4 model would come with a cellular connection, so that would be cool, that makes sense, especially since Apple would be redesigning the motherboard, or the logic board, how Apple's calling this thing, from scratch on the Series 4. So even from a production standpoint, it's easier if all the models had the exact same internals. Or option number 2 is for Apple to remove the ceramic models entirely, since not a lot of people actually buy those. And in that case, they would focus more on the aluminum models, and the stainless steel would be the premium ones. That would be the only premium options. So aluminum, and then the premium one would be stainless steel, and that would be it. And yeah, I mean, have another look at Apple's Apple Watch page. There's almost no mention of the stainless steel model. Most of these images actually show the aluminum version, and it's even worse for the ceramic model. That's barely even shown anywhere unless you specifically know where to look. It's funny how Apple started promoting the Apple Watch back in 2014, 2015 as a premium fashion accessory. They even had that golden edition. Remember that? The golden Apple Watch which actually went up to $17,000. That was crazy. And yeah, I mean, I get it, it was made out of 18 karat gold, so it was essentially a jewelry in itself, a collector's edition watch. But when you buy such an expensive watch, you plan on using it for many years, many years, maybe even pass it down to your children, grandchildren, and so on. And now just 3 years later, and the first generation Apple Watch, fun fact, did you know that it's no longer supported in terms of software updates? So yeah, watchOS 4 doesn't work on the original Apple Watch. which means that, you know, the Series 2 and the Series 1 would be removed next year, most likely with WatchOS 5. Also, I personally use this Series 2 myself, and this is the stainless steel space black model, which is the most expensive stainless steel Apple Watch that Apple sells. I think this was around 800 pounds or maybe even more. So yeah, it wasn't cheap at all. And even this one is so slow at the moment. WatchOS 3 is just a pain to use. I can't even imagine WatchOS 4 on this thing. So it's really slow, it's laggy, especially when you want to start, you know, a workout. It takes, I don't know, like 30 seconds to start one. It's crazy, it lags so much. It's a pain to use, honestly. I actually want to make a separate video, sort of like a rant video, showcasing the performance on all their Apple Watch models. Let me know if you want me to do that. But yeah, essentially Apple ended up removing the gold Apple Watch just a year later, just because of how bad that thing was selling. So yeah, that's basically outdated already. And then Apple even had dedicated fashion and jewelry stores over the world, essentially partnerships with those stores. And these stores were selling the Apple Watch Gold Edition. And yeah, they removed it from those stores as well. So yeah, the gold Apple Watch was a huge fail for Apple. And then how did they actually fix this? Well, they removed it, and instead of the gold model, they released a new one called the ceramic version, which this thing is still really expensive. So it starts at $1,300 or 1,300 pounds in UK, because, you know, Apple loves that 1-to-1 conversion ratio. But that's significantly less than the gold one, but still very expensive. So I get why Apple's focusing more and more on the entry-level models, the aluminum Apple Watch or the sports model. That's actually the one that they show in all of their ads, by the way, since, you know, that's the one that sells the best. It would be quite interesting to see which two models end up being removed, the GPS-only aluminum model or the more expensive ceramic models. Let me know in the comments which one you think should be removed. And speaking of removing things, Reddit user Scania CB80 has actually found that Apple has removed a ton of bands from their store. Now, Apple did remove the modern buckle band. Remember that one? That one actually had an amazing design. Unfortunately, it was only for the 38mm watch, so it was designed for women. But now they actually seem to have removed almost every sport band and a lot of color options from the sport loop, woven nylon, and the classic buckle as well. So does this mean that Apple will be removing those bands entirely? Well, no, I actually think it's going to be the opposite. They're removing those bands because they're going to introduce new colors. And the bands that haven't been removed, I think that Apple might actually remove those, or at least a few of them. If you take a look at the premium bands, the classic buckle is probably the one that sells the best one out there. You know, that's literally the only one that appears to be sold out. So Apple could end up removing all the other bands, apart from the ones on that list, which would get, you know, a color update. And in this case, the Series 4 Apple Watch would be 100% marketed as a fitness device rather than a premium watch. So yeah, in that case, we would get the sport bands, and then maybe just the classic buckle as the only premium band. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. What do you guys think about, you know, the Apple Watch being marketed as a fitness device as opposed to a premium smart accessory? Personally, I just love my space black Apple Watch. This is my favorite color and case materials out of all the models. I've used this thing for literally every day for the past 2 years. I went swimming with this thing. I went, you know, in pool water, seawater, you name it. This thing has been with me basically everywhere for the past 2 years. I mean, I've also had the sport or the aluminum model before, which I didn't really like that much because, I don't know, it felt cheap in comparison to the stainless steel one. And I do like that feeling of having, you know, something premium as a watch. But yeah, again, let me know in the comments what are your thoughts on this. Aluminum Apple Watch or stainless steel that feels a bit more premium. And Apple's definitely working on some major changes in terms of the Apple Watch bands. And by this, I don't mean by, you know, making new and different designs. So Fast Company has actually reported back in July that Apple has patented a new Apple Watch band that actually includes a heart rate monitoring sensor, or actually multiple ones, as well as a battery. That would be cool. Essentially, this would be a smart band, and it would be able to measure your heart rate much more precise than, you know, the sensors on a normal Apple Watch would. And of course, that this means that the band would be powered by the watch itself, and it would only work with the Series 4. That's if Apple releases this with the Series 4. And speaking of patents, Apple has also been granted a patent for a wireless charging case, which appears to be a traveling case for both the Apple Watch as well as some bands. And from this patent, it seems like they could easily use this case to charge those smart bands as well. But again, I do see those being charged by the Apple Watch. And in that case, as long as you keep the bands on, you know, you could just charge the Apple Watch and the bands would charge from the Apple Watch as well. So no need to charge them separately. At least that would make, you know, that would make the most amount of sense. And then another patent posted by Apple Insider shows a band that would automatically adjust based on your wrist. So a dynamically adjustable smart band, which is awesome. I mean, today, you know, unless you have something like a Milanese loop, which has some very precise alignment, if you use a sport loop or a classic buckle, your adjustment would be based on each individual hole. So yeah, having that would be awesome, really cool, but I don't see Apple releasing this anytime soon. Okay, so overall, the Apple Watch Series 4 is going to be the first design change since the original Apple Watch back in 2014. So the bezels are getting significantly thinner, the displays are getting larger because of those, thinner bezels. The size is going to remain the same, but yeah, larger displays on both models, and we might finally see a thinner body as well, thanks to the complete redesign of the logic board. But yeah, on top of this, the battery is also said to be getting 15% larger thanks to, the logic board redesign, and also thanks to Apple possibly making the buttons, the crown and the side button actually capacitive so that they don't press anymore, and this would leave a bit more room inside for not only a larger battery, but also for improved water resistance. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about the Apple Watch Series 4? Well, what would you say? Do you think it's worth it over the Series 3 or not? Do you think those changes are enough for you to, get a Series 4? Or not? Check out my previous video and also join the Zone. So this is again something new. Press the join button and become a member, support the channel, and get access to the live stream, which I'll be making next Friday. So just a week from, depending on when this video goes live, to, yeah, next week essentially. And I'll answer questions from you guys live, Q&A and that kind of stuff. That's gonna be fun. I haven't done a live stream in a while, and literally the only one that I've done was for an Apple event a while ago, when I got a strike for that. So yeah, I stopped doing live streams, but this is different, so should go fine. But yeah, thank you for watching. Do subscribe and enable notifications if you're new to the channel and you want to see more videos like this one, and don't forget to tap that bell to get notified. But yeah, thank you for watching. This has been pretty much it. Really looking forward to the Apple Watch Series 4. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.